Here we are together for part two of this interview. So, quickly moving into our next question. Um, we already spoke about minimalism as a part of ascension, as a part of multidimensional experience. So, our next question is currently in the human collective, we are seeing the natural ascension or the organic ascension is pretty slow for a lot of souls, and AI, artificial intelligence, is taking over way faster within minutes, within hours. In that case, why this organic or natural ascension is so important to humanity?
Yeah, I think going back to what I said a few minutes ago, the idea of slow and fast can be very subjective. Um, we perceive things in a very linear way because linear time and space is what 3D is all about, right? But time and space is more than linear time and space. And so maybe we perceive things as being slow, but what is time in the higher dimensions? It can be a split of second for us that takes a while to get here, right? And I would say that it's a very subjective thing, very individual too, because we can look at 100 years ago and compare the way we live and see so much evolution. And you don't have to go back 100 years ago. You can go back 23 years ago when internet wasn't a thing. And just that in itself, just the aspect of internet, which is a very big thing of the age of Aquarius and this new technology advancements that we're experiencing, that's also a way to see evolution and also a way to see time accelerating, because we wouldn't be able to have this conversation 10 years ago. Right? And
I
so
didn't
even
even
it,
know anything about Pleiadians back then.
yeah, well, we would have to write letters to each other for each answer, and that would take a
So
good
long.
year to have this interview, right? So that in itself shows us that yes, we are evolving. So there are little things like this that we can see, oh, no, we are shifting, we are evolving. So we can, it's a perspective. So to your other question about the AI, it's interesting because I did channel some information from the Pleiadians about that, just because I've been seeing more and more. I think we've all been seeing more and more.
Yeah, it's
And
just a lot. Like in a month or two, it just feels totally. We are being just bombarded with a lot of AI stuff
yeah,
just within 2 months. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why, it came to my attention. I personally, Will, I'm not super interested in that, at least not
Me
yet.
neither. You have a friend with you here. um,
Yeah, but I
I
understand
like
that it's happening.
technology, but not in a way that it is making us look inferior somewhere. Because I saw one of the photo apps, which is there are certain upgrades, certain like even if I start like the camera, it is already giving me that AI filter. It's not even about editing now. It's directly the filter, and it's not feeling real anymore.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also like accepting that it is here and it's just part of this process, and it's gonna be more and more present. That's one of the characteristics again of the age of Aquarius is advancement in technology. What they gave me, the piece is that they said that AI has been already amongst us for many years, even before we were aware of it. And
Mm.
one of the examples they've given me is social media and how, you know, the algorithm works. That's AI, right? The fact that my Spotify knows the kind of music I like and they give me playlists that are perfect for me. It's almost as if they know me better than me, right? It's like, oh, they know me really well. I love this playlist.
And it's
Um,
out in the open that even there's this AI machine called Aladdin, which is managing so much of the stock assets. Uh,
yeah,
so it's been there. We are
yeah,
just coming to know now, thanks to our intellect and somewhere our heart resonance and internet.
yeah. It's come to our awareness. It's coming to the collective awareness. And as with everything, there is always a shadow aspect and a light aspect of it. This is one of the things that the fourth dimension reminds us, that there is a shadow aspect of everything, but there's also a light aspect of everything. Um, the same way that we can use internet for the good, or social media for our benefit, we can it can be damaging to our mental health, our spiritual health, our emotional health. And so they said the key is your awareness around it and how you use it, more than how it's being, how you're being used by it. So that's kind of the main difference. So if you have the awareness that it is there, then you have the opportunity to take better actions. And sometimes I myself think that I use social media too much. But I have this awareness. So from this awareness, I can take a different action, and I can choose to use less, or I can choose to use things that really nurture my mind and my soul, right? Um, and the other thing they said too is it's going to advance. It's going to be very surprising, impressive, the things that AI can do. And in years to come, we might see little robots working with us and for us. But the thing that they said is that AI um, um, is consciousness. It's part of the sacred space as well, but it it doesn't have a soul, so it's soulless, right? And so if we learn how to, we have a soul, living beings have a soul, right? Animals have a soul. So a way that we can work with it is to take whatever is created by this artificial intelligence and add our spice on it, add our soul to it, because otherwise it will just be soulless. And then that's when we have to be careful with how it is using us. So it's more about us using the AI instead of them using us. And just to finish this up, the other thing they said too is it may look impressive, and some of us might vibrate in fear, but we mustn't vibrate in fear, because we mustn't be scared of it. We mustn't fear that, because fear is what keeps us in the so-called 3D matrix. I don't really like the word matrix because it's a neutral word. Matrix in Latin means matter, which means womb. So it's neutral. What keeps us stuck in the 3D is fear, because that's what that's what press wants us. That's what media wants. That's what people in charge, or if you want to go there, the global elite, the beings in the fourth dimension, that's what they want. They want us to be here, stuck in this linear space and time. And the way they do this is to inject fear. And so if we're vibrating in fear, then we're just going to be here.
Absolutely. And I was researching for last 3 4 years, and I already was like searching where is the ethics, where is the ethics around AI? And yes, there are a few organizations which are already coming up with that. So that's a good, like there is already a movement which is ahead and countering what is not visible in terms of AI. Yeah, so that's a good move. So there is hope. That's a that's a good thing. So like you said, yes, absolutely. When used well, technology can be a gift. It's up to us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And another thing that's coming through too that they want me to share is that the technology that we're experiencing now is nothing compared to the technology that we were experiencing 13,000 years ago. We think that it's super high technology, but the way they built the pyramids of Egypt and other sacred temples as well, that's technology. And I feel hopefully we're heading towards that or back to that.
and just to share, if you're right now connected channeling, just one point here that during my school days, I felt like teleportation, telepathy. Yes, I was very sure that that's real. But teleportation is a presentation I had given during my early college, my teens, and nobody got it. Like teleportation is quite real, and you can do it organically. So I hope we reach a point where it's more natural and less of technology.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
hope that's, and yeah. So then that question goes like, why natural ascension becomes important?
Well, it's difficult to say to divide what is natural ascension and non-organic ascension because it's all part of the process. So, like I mentioned before, it's not necessarily about wanting to retrieve the way our ancestors lived. It's more about taking that wisdom, taking those values, integrating with the technology and the way that we're living today. So maybe it's also about integrating the natural and non-natural, knowing that we are not um, made of AI, but there is, in a way, a technology too inside of us, you know. And you can look at the whole universe as, you know, a, like a technology space that we perceive internet as a technology advancement, but from the higher dimensional perspective, internet is not a thing. It's just the way that they communicate, is telepathy, is
It's still
information traveling through sound, is
absolutely.
frequencies, right? And we're just catching up to that. So I would like to see what we perceive as technological advancements as part of the process for this ascension, which again is integrating old, new, integrating feminine, masculine,
Mhm.
um, light, and dark.
Right, and that's so true. So if like telepathy has been the original way, and feeling has always also been a way of communication since ancient times. So is this idea, it's just coming in, so I'm just asking you, then overthinking is not bad. Like maybe overthinking is where you're receiving more information, isn't it? Like all the extra thoughts that come in.
Yeah. Um,
Some people just want to stop their thoughts, like stop the thoughts, but I'm like, not required. Why can't you just enjoy those moments as well?
Absolutely. Like we have the mental body as part of our makeup, our composition. And it's kind of like going back to the AI question too. It's like we can use our thoughts for our own growth and benefit.
Yeah.
But it's again having the awareness that your mental body is part of your multidimensional self. You don't have to get rid of your thoughts. You just have to become aware of it. And as you become aware of your thoughts and the emotions that they bring, and what
kind
what
of emotions? Yeah.
what
Thoughts
kind of
or
emotion,
emotions?
and then there will be just your inner guidance system. Your emotions and your thoughts, they are also portals to accessing higher states of consciousness. If you're just using that capacity of your mental body, which usually it's the ego, which is the 3D aspect of your mental activity, then that's just going to be very limited, and you're going to be going back and forth in the duality aspect of it. So again, when we're talking about multidimensionality, embracing all of that, it's not that we're just want to get rid of the ego and get rid of the duality because this is bad and I don't want you, because that is a 3D mindset in itself. But it's about just expanding our awareness a little bit and understanding that it is a part of yourself, sending love to that part of yourself and using it for your benefit. How can I take better actions according to what I'm thinking, to what I'm feeling? And what is the 5D aspect of this that I'm feeling? And that's how you keep evolving. It's just, and the expansion keeps giving, because it's all it is. The expansion of consciousness is you're gaining more awareness of the parts of yourself.
Right. That's profound. Great. So moving to our last question. Yeah. Okay. The last question, the sixth one, is there's a lot of deception related to spirituality and new age concepts. How do we navigate about what is real, which will help in our soul's growth?
Yes, I think so. What's coming to mind again, it's the transition between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. And the age of Pisces was all about um, religion, um, and finding those masters to reflect back to us that we are light, that we also have that capacity to find enlightenment. And I think that was the shadow aspect of it too, is that in a way we started to giving our power away to those ascended master, to a perception of God that's outside of us, to the gurus and the masters, like they know better than I do. And it's always been about finding the answers within rather than looking for the answers externally, right? And these beings, these archetypes that we see, they are trying to show us the way inside again, right? And this is something that's been happening for eons, right? We started worshiping gods as if we were the inferior beings and they were the superior beings, and that is again in itself a very 3D dualistic mindset
Something
of,
outward, something
yeah,
outside.
yeah, like they have the power, they have the wisdom, and they have the knowledge, and maybe and yes, they might have had the wisdom and the knowledge. Higher dimensional beings came here to teach us agriculture, but does that mean they are gods and that we must worship them? No, they just came here to teach us. And so a teacher shows the way and gives you the tools so that you can go on and have those tools for yourself. And so I think that in the age of Pisces, that was there was the light aspect was, hey, we have those masters to look up to, those gurus, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. But then there was also this idea of like, I must give my power away to these beings because they know better than I do. And then there's a disconnection with the God within you, with that energy of source that we have within you, that one consciousness that I talked about in the beginning that is here within us. So the way I want to say that now in the age of Aquarius, you know, this 5D ascension, and 5D is all about the heart. It's all about love, unity consciousness, again, uniting your ego and spirit, uniting feminine and masculine, and your multidimensional tool, that's what the Pleiadians say, is your heart. So your heart is your multidimensional tool. Having that connection with your heart center is imperative from now on. And one of the aspects of 5D2 is sovereignty. Being sovereign in who you are means you are connected with your heart center, and you have that filter and that inner resonance that I mentioned in the beginning of the interview on. So that's going to be different for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think the rule of thumb is always connect with your heart center. Let your heart be your guide more than anything else. So if you're working with your, you know, loving yourself, healing from trauma, healing from, you know, forgiving yourself. And I would even say like self-love is kind of the key really that encompasses all of these things. Because right. When you start loving yourself, essentially what you're doing is you're peeling off all those layers that have been preventing you from accessing the power of your heart.
Absolutely. And so even if we have to, even if people have to select certain healing modalities, then again, I think it becomes responsibility of people like us, like breathwork facilitators or healers, to first tell the client, like, ask your heart first. Do you feel like you should do it with us or with me or you? Then go ahead. Otherwise, you choose. I think we should give that choice to people who are also rising up. Yeah,
totally.
I mean, we start that process right there for them, right? We are already giving power back to them and asking them to start making decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many ways, and we live in a free will universe. And so yes, the choice is always ours. And sometimes we think that we're just doing something for ourselves. We're just like, I'm just healing my childhood trauma. You're doing more than that. You're not just, you know, healing your childhood trauma because you want to feel good. You're actually, you know, healing your heart, opening your heart. And in that, you're contributing to the ascension of the collective. You are, again, riding along the, you know, Mother Earth's awakening.
Absolutely. This talk has been so beautiful and very peaceful. Like I was talking to you and I was feeling a sense of peace, learning about a lot of new things. So thank you so much, Will.
Thank you.
Let's make this process faster for a lot of people. First for ourselves, and of course whoever wants to change or make changes in their life. So
yeah, it all starts within.
Absolutely. And your website links and social media links, I shall add it in the description so that people can connect with you if they want to know more. Also your YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll add that as well.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everyone for listening. And I hope this has brought you insights and
a lot.
Yeah, feel connect.
A lot. Yeah. Thank you so much. And have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.